tonight. Only be in the dark all night. You know I'll only cry waving mom and dad goodbye. Grandma, leave the light on tonight.
Dermot McIlroy has been playing and making guitars for most of his life. He now runs his own business in Antrim, where he also makes instruments like the Guzooki, his own invention. But it's a story that so nearly might never have happened.
In 1988, 4 weeks before I got married, I actually got 3 fingers cut off. And I was a wood machinist at the time, working on a machine called a spindle moulder, which is just this thing with very, very sharp blades spinning at about 20,000 revs per minute, you know, and just got a little bit close to it and it just caught the 3 fingers. One went completely, the tops of the other 2 actually caught in my hand as I spun round. And when I went down to the hospital, the doctor there, Dr. Dearden, I think it was, she was prepared to try and sew them back on, but another doctor came in and said, no, they're gone, you know, cut them off. There's just a little thread, you know, cut them off and stitch it all up. But I explained to her that I was a guitarist, and she persevered with it and got the tops of the 2 fingers back on again, and they're actually fine now. They're numb at the top, but you know, they're fine. I can still play. So it was actually a year to the very day that I played the guitar again. Most of my appreciation actually comes not from playing them, but the love of the wood. You know, because I was a joiner for 11 years, I always had a woody sort of background. You know, for instance, I love turning of a lathe, which I turn wood, and I've made rocking horses and for the kids and all this sort of thing, you know. So as far as I'd be concerned, my love is more of love of the wood because of, you know, maybe my father was a joiner and it's just something that I've always been involved in, you know. We use probably around 100 different timbers or so, likes of the Indian rosewood, which is the most popular wood for guitar making. I actually buy either from Germany or Spain, but it would come from the Philippines or East India, around that sort of direction. Then to go over to the other side of the world, you've got, in America, you've got walnuts and maples. And Clara walnut's one of the most sought after walnuts because it displays oranges, blacks, light browns, tans, absolutely incredible array of timbers. And then if you go to Hawaii, there's a timber in Hawaii called koa, which is an absolutely unbelievable golden coloured wood, and it can only be harvested by one person who goes around and looks for trees which have blown down. They're not cut down just for the sake of timber. They're only if they've actually blown down in storms, or they're getting old and they're about to fall, are they cut down. This is the first guitar I ever made, and it's walnut back and sides, and this would be my favourite sort of mix of timbers, but there are so many other timbers which have different characteristics. For instance, Indian rosewood is a lovely warm sounding guitar, and a lot of people would go for that. The maples are a very bright sounding guitar, and again, another musician might prefer that sort of thing. I've a couple of guitars which I was actually able to make from a tree which blew down in Clogher, the Clogher Valley, you know, and that was a very white figured sycamore, absolutely beautiful tree. This could have been a tree which blew down and is going to lie and rot into the ground, you know, and nothing done with it. But I suppose if I've got a hold of it and I've turned it into something of beauty again, and not just visually, but also the beauty that it creates when someone plays it, I suppose, yes, it does, it brings it alive. The first one was something special, I must admit. The first one took 8 months to make. Now I actually made a recent similar one in 12 hours. But the first one took 8 months because it was completely new to the game. And the feeling, the biggest feeling comes when you're putting the strings on, because you don't know how it's going to turn out. Even now, when I'm doing them now, there's still that anticipation when you're putting the strings on, even though you're 99.9% certain that you've done it right. You still don't know until you actually put the strings on and tune it up and listen to the sound of it. And it is quite thrilling. Even after 11 years now, I'm still thrilled when I strum a guitar for the first time, you know.
I watched you when my grandpa turned to stone, when you told me Mom and Dad weren't coming home. Now it happened so long ago, but at night my feelings show when you tuck me in and try to say goodnight. So Grandma, leave the light on tonight. Only be in the dark all night. You know I'll only cry waiting Mom and Dad get by. Grandma, leave the light on tonight.
The Guzuki came from an idea which was sort of implanted in my head by the guy who originally, my mentor, who originally taught me guitar making, and it was a guy called Miki Yoshida, Japanese chap, and he always used to say to me, when you're designing guitars, the whole form of the guitar should start with a natural shape, and that natural shape is a pear, and from that shape you mould it out to suit the human body, really, you know, the form and also sound and whatever as well. So for years it played in my head, this pear shape. If it's supposed to come from the pear shape, why not leave it pear shape? So I designed this instrument perfectly pear shaped. I knew that it wouldn't suit a guitar, so I made it an 8-string instrument so that it's more like a bouzouki, an Irish bouzouki. This is a very new instrument. There are possibly only 6 or 7 Guzukis in the world at the minute, but hopefully that'll change in the next few years. For me to turn on Top of the Pops and see someone on there playing the guitar, I suppose that's the ultimate goal. Or £1 million in the bank account would be an ultimate goal as well, you know, if you come down to it financially. It just, you know, there's different aspects of it, but it would be lovely to see maybe not just even one person playing the guitar, but lots of people playing them.